Everything all right with you?
I'm very glad that the business with the murder has been cleared up.
Why?
At worst, they would simply have attacked us. I don't even want to imagine what would have happened then. At worst, they would have just attacked us. I don't even want to imagine what would have happened then.
Hey.
That's what I've always said. You don't say. You don't say.
Hey. Can you heal me?
If I hadn't seen it with my own eyes. Who says things like that? If I hadn't seen it.
Your clothing is not appropriate for our order. Go and change.
Hey! Show me your wares.
Me inos.
Hey, you! Bless me.
I bless.
Show me.
Me inos watch your.
Hey, you. I see you belong to the Magician's Monastery.
Yes, why?
Can you use another worker there? I wouldn't know where else to turn.
Where do you come from?
I used to be captain of a big whaler, my boy. The sea is my home. My ship, the good old Magdalena, was sunk by pirates a few months ago, and now I'm stranded here. All I ever wanted was to go back to sea. Since I've come here, not one schooner is called at this accursed port. The only ship which is anchored in Corinthus is that blasted war galley of the king, and they don't take on anyone. So what else can I do? There's no work for me in town. I tried everything.
You'd better get off the road.
Don't worry. I've already noticed that the wilderness out here has become damn dangerous in the last couple of days.
How did you get to the monastery so fast?
What kind of a question is that? I crept through the pass and made my way straight to the monastery. Admittedly, it was never easy avoiding all the monsters making themselves at home on this side of the valley, but ultimately I encountered fewer problems than I expected.
Do you know where the others are?
Gorn seems to have coped with his stay in Garon's dungeon very well. In any case, he wanted to go to Lee and see what was happening on the farm. After the grub they serve in the dungeon, he's probably stuffing his face right now and putting the mercenaries' provisions to a real test. Diego mumbled something about a reckoning. No idea what he meant by that, but I suspect he's in the city. You know him, always there when there's something to be had.
know anything about the hooded figures.
No, but I have a bad feeling about those guys. Be careful if you run into them.
I want to learn some new spells. Hey, you! How are you?
Yeah, all right already. I think the boys here can help me, but I still feel really dizzy. But I have to say, their wine is the best I've ever tasted.
Anything's possible.
How's it going?
I loyally fulfill all of the tasks given me, Master. Every day, Inos sets new challenges before me. I'll continue to work on improving myself.
Those are all just rumors.
Don't tell me you didn't know that.
As if I don't have enough problems.
Teach me!
I agree with you completely.
I owe you that in the name of Inos.
May Inos protect you.
You already know what I think.
I need a few things. What's new?
The news from the Valley of Mines is alarming. I believe that Inos is putting us through a severe test.
Hey!
You are not permitted to go further. Turn back.
Tell me about the hammer.
This is the sacred hammer of Inos. With this hammer, the Holy Scriptures, with the name of...
What are you doing here?
I try to accomplish the tasks given to me to the satisfaction of the monastery.
Are you satisfied with your task?
Yes, of course. My faith in the wisdom and power of Inos gives me strength. I don't mean to seem disrespectful, but I have a lot to do today.
You may carry on.
Thanks.
You must never lose faith.
No, I mean, I would never do such a thing, honest.
We are all often put through severe tests.
Yes, Master. I will always remember that. Thank you. Why haven't I heard about this before? Hardly know who to believe these days. There have been all kinds of rumors.
I agree with you completely.
Any news?
The enemy has apparently already entered the city.
What do you mean?
One of the paladins, Lothar, was murdered in the street. In broad daylight. It has gone too far, but I fear that is only the beginning.
I always act in the name within us.
What's gonna happen now?
A murder, moreover, of a paladin is without doubt one of the worst crimes there is. The murderer will undoubtedly be sentenced to death.
Bennett is innocent. The witness lied.
How do you know that?
I have found proof.
Sometimes I think that treason and greed are our greatest enemies.
Teach me.
That'll only cause more trouble.
I agree with you completely.
Do you really think?
May Enos illuminate your path.
Hey. Any news?
Yes. Well, you've probably noticed those black-robed figures.
I've met them.
This brings us to the core of the matter. At the moment, we're observing a very rare constellation of stars. To be more exact, the sign of the ox currently stands in direct correlation with the sign of the warrior. I suppose you know what that means.
Well, to be honest,
Yes, I see. Well, I cannot explain the entire background to you now, but it definitely signifies a great change, and I do not like change. Therefore, I want you to get me a book from town. It's called The Divine Power of the Stars. You may have to rummage around for it a bit, but I'm sure you'll find it.
I'll see whether I can find it.
That's good. It frees up my time so I can follow some other trails as well. But don't take too much time. Time, I'm afraid, is what we have the least of.
Found anything out yet?
No, I'm still waiting for that book.
Teach me. Hey, you! I want to learn the fourth circle of magic.
It is still not finished.
How are your studies coming along?
The enemy has many faces. Which of them presents the greatest danger for the monastery is awfully difficult to determine.
Show me your wares. Teach me.
Could have told you that before.
It's really not my problem.
I always act in the name within us.
I've come from the old Valley of Mines.
What do you have to report?
The enemy has formed up there with an army of orcs and dragons.
We have already learned that from Milton. But what about the king's shipment of ore?
The mine they are digging for Garand in the valley cannot satisfy the demands of the king.
The days are becoming grayer, and the light of the sun is ever weaker.
I was attacked by men in black robes.
I know. Those are the Seekers, henchmen from the nether realms of Beliar. Beware of them. They will try to take possession of you. Once possessed, you will no longer be yourself. Only here in the monastery could you find help then, so be careful. I have asked Karas to look into this matter. He will certainly win some further insight soon, which can make us see clearer. Here, this rune will bring you directly back to the monastery if you need our help. Remember, we must offer resistance, or we shall all be doomed.
I've found a strange almanac.
Really? What kind of an almanac is that?
I'm not sure. I thought you would know what to do with it.
Forsooth, that is very disquieting. I am glad that you brought it to me. That was very wise. I assume that there are more of these. Go and find more of these books of damnation. I suspect that it is an instrument of the Seeker's power. They use it to control the lost souls of their victims. They obviously write down the names of those whom they are planning to possess in these books. Listen, I am giving you this magical letter. It will show you the names which are written in the books. Find those victims and bring me their books. I shall dispose of them. But first, you ought to show at least one of them to Karas. Maybe that will help him in his studies. Do not make the mistake to try and destroy them yourself. You are not ready to withstand their power. Do not get close to the Seekers, or they will take possession of you. If you still find yourself unable to resist their call, come back to me as fast as you can. Only here in the monastery can your soul be saved.
Is there no protection against their mental attacks?
That is possible. Karas could know something about that.
I can tell you even more about those possessed.
Speak, brother.
I've got even more books of the sea.
That is good. Take this. It is a gift from the monastery which will help you when you face evil. And remember to have a look at my magic letter. It is possible that they may try the same on others whose names were not yet found in the... I have heat. But do not make. Do not. Is that?
Heal me, Master, for I am possessed.
So be it. Take this potion. It will relieve you of your nightmares. May the mercy of Enos be your salvation. Act on his behalf and beware of the evil eye of the enemy.
Any news?
Not at the moment. Go and complete your tasks. You still have much to do.
Is there anything else you want to tell me?
No, not at the moment, brother.
No one must violate the divine order.
I never knew that.
Hey, you! Is there a way to protect oneself against the mental attacks of the Seekers?
No idea. I still know too little to answer that. Ask me about it later.
How are your studies coming along?
I've been able to find out something about the Seekers.
And what would that be?
They are, quite obviously, of demonic origin. But at least they are, or were, under the influence of demons. Be careful if you meet them.
What a novel concept.
I'm sorry, but I don't have enough material to make a more precise statement. But if you could manage to bring me something of theirs to examine.
What kind of material do you need?
What do I know? Any objects which especially belong to these beings.
Do you want me to bring you a corpse?
No. Are you crazy? The dangers posed by a demonic being within the walls of the monastery are much too great. It will be enough if you find some objects which are typical for these beings. The remains of the demonic aura which cling to them should offer enough clues for an examination.
Could the sleeper be involved in this?
I have heard the story of the sleeper, but from a distance I cannot say anything about it. There are countless demons, and any of them could be involved.
I shall see what I can do.
It would certainly be very useful. In the meantime, I will carry out my own personal research.
I've got an almanac of the possessed here. Perhaps you can find some use for it.
Show me. Yes, that may do. I will examine the book, but I'm already sure of one thing. In my opinion, the Seekers are an utterly perverted life form created by Beliar. These beings are of partly demonic and partly human origin. However, I am still unable to tell at this point whether we are looking at a type of spiritual possession or a purely physical mutation. Come back later. Then I will certainly know more.
Found out anything new about the Seekers yet?
I'm working on it. Come back later.
Is there a way to protect oneself against the mental attacks of the Seekers?
No idea. I still know to
How are your studies coming along?
The enemy has many faces. Which of them presents the greatest danger for the monastery is awfully difficult to determine.
Show me your wares.
Can't go on like this forever.
He never would have thought of that himself. I can tell you even more about those possessed.
Speak, brother.
I've got even more books of the Seekers for you.
That is good. I am afraid, however, that there are more of these to find. Go on searching. Take this. It is a gift from the monastery which will help you when you face evil. And remember to have a look at my magic letter once in a while. It is possible that they may try the same on others whose names were not yet found in the almanacs. But you only just had your healing potion. Don't come back to me until you really need my help.
I have come to take the Eye of Innos.
I see that you have received an authorization from Lord Hagen himself to bear the Eye of Innos. I am afraid that I have to disappoint you. We have fallen victim to a treacherous plot of the enemy. The Eye of Innos has been violently taken from these sacred walls.
Who could be so impudent, Master?
Evil is cunning and usually works in secret. Only rarely do you see it emerge to pursue its evil machinations in broad daylight. But these days, it's a different matter. The enemy now shows himself openly in the street, in every home and every public square. This can only mean that he no longer fears any adversary and is not going to shrink back from anything. One of our most faithful followers, a candidate for the high robe of the Magicians of Fire, has changed his allegiance unexpectedly, and in an alarmingly evil manner. Pedro. The enemy has taken possession of him, thus inflicting a terrible defeat upon us. Pedro has forced his way into our most sacred halls and stolen the eye. I fear that he simply spent too much time by himself, outside of the gates, and thus beyond the protective walls of the monastery, exposed to all lurking dangers.
Where did the thief flee to?
Pedro knocked down some of the other novices who tried to stop him and disappeared into the morning mist. Many novices have gone after him to bring the eye back to its place unharmed. If you want to catch up with him, you need to hurry before Pedro disappears out of your reach.
Not so fast. I have another task for you.
And that is...
Now that you belong to the Brotherhood of Fire, you must also fulfill the duties that come with being one of us. The Church is not only concerned with the affairs of magic, it is also the final authority in the administration of justice, as you know. The latest case brought before us opens up a bottomless abyss and must be dealt with once and for all.
Isn't that the militia's business?
The militia is responsible for the city alone. This affair has far-reaching consequences.
What's this about?
There is someone in the city who has sold falsified shares in the ore mines of the former penal colony. These papers are utterly worthless and of no importance, really. Still, they have the potential of stirring up trouble among the people, which we cannot afford to happen right now. The swindler is supposed to have approached all of the most reputable traders in the city and the country, and has evidently managed to sell his counterfeit mining shares to some of them. Find this evildoer and bring him before this panel. In such hard times, we must not suffer swindlers and plunderers. We must make an example of him in order to deter the rest of the mob.
I'll try to clear up the matter.
One thing more. When you visit those traders, do not let them know that you are looking for mining shares. I think they probably want to sell them on, and certainly would no longer offer them to you if they realized that you are dealing with them on behalf of the church. Do you see?
Yes.
Then get to work. I wish you much success, brother.
Is there anything else you want to tell me?
No, not at the moment, brother.
One more little thing. Stay away from the roadside shrines. We have heard that some of them have been desecrated. No one can say what effect they have now. It is not your task to solve this problem. The paladins will take care of this matter.
Any news?
Not at the moment. Go and complete your tasks. You still have much to do.
Go on like this forever.
May inauspicable.
Was obvious. Could have told you that before. It was obvious all along.
Any news?
Yes, the enemy has succeeded in planting a traitor in our sacred halls. He has stolen the Eye of Innos, one of our most important artifacts, and that is only the tip of the iceberg. The enemy has apparently already entered the city.
What do you mean?
One of the paladins, Lothar, was murdered in the street.
Where did the thief go?
I don't know that. He rushed to the gate like he was possessed and then disappeared. No matter where he hides, under what rock he crawls, the wrath of Innos will strike him and scorch his black soul.
What's gonna...
We will pursue the thief no matter where. We will hunt him down and see to it that he receives his just punishment.
For that, we would need to know first who the thief is.
We will soon find out, and no matter how long it takes us, we shall find him. This I swear by Innos.
I have found...
May Innos...
Hey! Found anything out yet?
No, I'm still waiting for that book.
Hey!
Brother, you cannot lose any time. You must hunt down Pedro and return the Eye of Innos to the monastery. If the eye is not retrieved, we shall all be lost.
Hey! Do you know where Pedro is?
Do you think I'd be standing around here if I knew where the renegade was hiding? He must pay for his deeds. I hope we manage to get the eye back. You have to help us. Find him and bring back the Eye of Innos.
If you're headed for the monastery, you should talk to Milton. He'll surely be able to help you.
What do you think? Would they let me in there at all?
Perhaps, but the way you look, I can hardly imagine you in a novice's robe.
Enough of that nonsense. Novice's robe, indeed. It's the grub I'm after, or I'll be forced to eat the bark off the trees next.
Have you seen a novice walk past?
Yeah, sure. He went, that way. He jumped into the water off the bridge and swam like a shark was after him.
What's going on here?
What do you mean?
You're the second fellow to rush past here like he's been stung by blood flies.
Who was the other guy?
He looked like one of those brainy novices from the monastery back there. You can say what you like, but somehow those guys aren't quite right in the head. Just look at their silly clothes. I wouldn't want to be caught in the street at night in those.
Where did the other one go?
He ran up that way like lightning.
Be careful what you say. I used to be a novice in the monastery myself.
You poor swine. That certainly explains a few things. No offense. Be on your way. You're a busy man. Don't let me keep you.
Somebody should teach you some manners.
Now, don't be offended. All right. If you absolutely want to fight, you can have one. So show me what you've got, novice. My head.
What's your business here?
You ask a damn lot of questions for such a young whippersnapper. Name the goblin cave we crawled through together, and I'll tell you my secrets. Otherwise, mind your own business.
Hey, you! Have you seen a novice pass by here?
A lot of peculiar figures passed by here today, including those two jokers up by the stone arch. A while ago, a novice from the Magicians of Fire was with them as well.
Teach me how...
What exactly? That's not what I heard.
Hey, you! What are you doing here?
What's it to you?
Just asking.
Understood. But what are you doing here? Anyway, this is our road, and we don't like it when someone bothers us here.
I'm looking for a novice.
That's very interesting. We're looking for someone too.
Who would that be?
You.
Back to sea, pirate!
You have come too late. We have destroyed the Eye of Innos so that it can never regain its power. We shall now demonstrate the futility of your attempt to challenge the Master.
Hey! The Eye of Innos has been destroyed.
What are you saying? Destroyed?
I found it up in the northern forests. Unfortunately, I've only been able to salvage its fragments.
That was our only chance to stand up to those dragons, and it's gone. We have failed.
What now?
This is a painful blow. We have to reorient ourselves. I shall retreat and ponder the matter. In the meantime, you should go to town and talk to Vatras, the water mage. I could imagine that maybe he knows what's to be done.
You didn't look all that...
I don't feel all that. Every time when I think I'll have a...
I want to increase my magic powers.
I'd have gone about it differently. That's just what I said.
May Innos It's a bad business.
I have found the Eye of Innos. It's broken.
But that cannot be. What happened?
Some really nasty customers had it. Anyway, I came too late. They were performing a strange incantation on a crescent-shaped ritual site up in those woods.
Innos be with us. They have desecrated our circle of the sun. Even in my worst nightmares, I could never have imagined they would possess this kind of power.
What can we do now?
The enemy has become very strong. Still, this ancient artifact meant a powerful threat to him. We must heal the eye and restore its old power. But time works against us. I cannot begin to imagine what is now going to become of us all. Without the protection of the eye, we are helplessly at the mercy of the enemy. Go to Vatras, the water mage in town. In this terrible situation, only he will know what is to be done. Take the eye to him, and hurry!
What is the Circle of the Sun?
Every year, all the magicians and novices of the monastery travel to this place at the time of the solstice to mark the beginning of a new cycle. The place is filled with the immeasurable power of the sun. Never have I entertained the slightest notion that its power could be reversed. And yet, that is what happened.
Why Vatras?
The privilege of the robe does not authorize you to question my instructions, brother. Vatras is a servant of Adanos. The knowledge of the water mages alone will bring us clarity in this dark hour. That is all you need to know.
Is there anything else you want to tell me?
No, not at the moment, brother.
Any news?
Not at the moment. Go.
Nothing's ever gonna change that. It was obvious.
Any news?
The enemy has apparently already entered the...
What do you mean?
One of the paladins in...
You don't have to ask me that.
May Innos.
He
Hey, you! Found anything out yet?
No, I'm still waiting for that book.
Hey, you! I've got the book for you.
Very good. Give it here. You may withdraw now. I shall retire and study.
Found anything out yet?
Well, I cannot be completely sure, but the current constellation of the stars seem to indicate many dangers.
What kind of dangers?
Well, the structure between the worlds seems to be very weak. It only takes a small portion of the power that would be necessary otherwise to tear a hole in this structure. Demons could use those portals to enter our world without encountering resistance.
Found anything out yet?
Well, I cannot be
What kind?
Well, demons...
Hey, you! I've brought back the Eye of Innes.
I am relieved you were able to snatch the eye away from the enemy, but the danger has not been averted. Evil is making further plans and is proceeding with unusual aggression.
I've already figured that out for myself.
Do not mock me. The situation is serious, very serious, and we don't know whom we can trust. The enemy has already succeeded in leading the novice Pedro into temptation, and he may have success with many others.
Found out anything new about the Seekers yet?
I'm working on it.
Is there a way to protect oneself against the mental attacks of the Seekers?
No idea. I still know to...
How are your studies?
The enemy has many faces. Which of them presents the greatest danger for the monastery is awfully difficult to determine.
Justice will prevail in the end.
Hey! I want to